Welcome to the West Virginia Case Podcast, hosted by Les Odell. Join us as we dive deep into all things strange, including Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, and more. Pull up a chair and set for a spell. It's going to be a great time. Now, without further delay, let's get the show started.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey folks, welcome back to the West Virginia Case Podcast. I had a little bit of a technical issue there. For some reason, when I hit live, it wanted to play a whole nother video. I don't know why it did that. So I had to quickly figure it out there, and we got her going now. Tonight we're going to have our guest Bill Rigby on. Bill Rigby is the founder of Agents of the Unexplained. He's also the sponsor of the West Virginia Case Podcast. What we're going to do tonight is just have a question and answer type thing. We're just kind of going to interview each other back and forth. We're going to volley some questions back and forth and see what each one of them has to say about certain things. And I've got about 10 questions pulled, written down, or, if we don't have any of those, or if we can't get to all of them, we'll just ask what we want to ask. And same here, everybody else has some questions. We'll dig into those. So without further ado, let's bring on Bill. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how we doing?
Well, I don't know what happened right there, man. I clicked on go live, and it said go live with intro, and it's never done that before. That's the first time. That must be.
Okay, I got mine set up with the go live with intro.
Okay, because that's never done that before, and all of a sudden it just
that's something else that's new with that.
Okay, so I got to figure out how to
intro and the outro.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to do get that situated, I guess.
I'll talk you through that.
Okay.
But we're going volley questions to each other.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know how to play volleyball.
Well, how about racquetball? Is that fine?
Yeah, I can swing a racket. I can raise a racket too.
We play we play badminton a little bit.
You're bad.
We knocked a birdie around some.
Hey, I like Birdie. She's a nice girl.
I hear you. Well, we see we got Wes in there. We got Anita in there. We got Tony. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Hey, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm an agitator, joker, a serious researcher.
Yeah, there's a reason why we call him Sir Bill.
Okay, what's the reason? You
I
got
don't
me
know.
worried. You got me worried.
We just call you Sir Bill.
Because I'm old?
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you, folks, this man put me in the hospital.
That's what he tells everybody.
No, I had walking pneumonia, and I'm on blood thinners, and I start coughing up blood. Did a little bit when Les and I was out hiking, and the next night, at 7:30, I started coughing, and it was nothing but blood, so I had to get to the hospital. But I blame Les.
I didn't do it. It was Jamie's fault. We'll just blame it on Jamie. Jamie was there.
Nah, yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Maybe. We'll blame. He's not here, so we'll blame on Jamie.
Hey, that's an idea.
It's a good idea, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, who's throwing the first question out, me or you?
I got a quarter right here. Okay.
All right, wait a minute. Before you flip that two-sided quarter.
No, it's not two-sided. It's an old dirty quarter that I've dug up metal detecting. But
here's the thing. You're the host. You asked the first.
I was just going to tell you heads I win, tails you lose anyway. So.
Okay, I lost.
We'll just go right in because I know some people want to know. Bill, have you had a Bigfoot encounter? Have you had a sighting?
Hell yes, and I don't like it. It was 15 feet away, folks. So I did not care for that. I loved the idea of seeing one, but not that close.
Well, go into it. Can you tell us about it a little bit?
It was hairy, it was big, and it was scary.
Did you
What
see his
else do you
butt?
want to know?
Did you see his butt?
No, Mike Bennett did. What happened was there was three of us, Debbie Preggy, Mike Bennett, and myself. We were walking down the Buckeye Trail, going in so far, stop. And Debbie had this little scope, and she's using it. And we're listening and checking things out, see if we can see anything. Turn around. Something from the left was tossing a small stone or nuts up to us. And I'm thinking, that's somebody from the camp area, because we was at the group camp area of Salt Fork, going down the Buckeye Trail. Hey, someone's messing with us. Turn around. We go in another 90 paces or so. Same thing happened, and it was not seeing anything, not hearing anything, but something still get tossed up. And I'm getting a spam caller. Yeah, it's time. But Debbie's getting nervous. We did this 3 times, and finally, and it's getting dark. It's not dark. It's just starting to get dark. And she's getting scared. She says, I'm not going any farther. I'm getting scared. I'm done. I said, give me your scope. I'll go down. You stand there with Mike. Mike has a gun on him, so you're safe. I might not be, but you are. I go down about 90 paces, 100 paces. I kneel down. I'm trying to adjust the scope like this here. I'm looking at it, trying to get it cleared. And out of the corner of my right eye, there was a little movement. And I turned and looked. 15 feet, right inside the wood line, there it was, leaning in, looking at me. I went, oh. And my heart's racing. I feel my skin crawl. I'm thinking, my God, it's right there. Look how big it is. And had long brown hair all over it. And it was dark brown. The skin was darker brown that I saw. It had the boxer's flat nose. The head shape wasn't totally, wait a minute. I think I got it here. Yes, I do. I got a picture that Larry Batson drew. That's similar of what it looks like. I stood up. It stood up. And that's when I really start panicking. I'm like, I'm dead meat. I'm dead meat. And everything going through my brain saying, get the hell out of here. Flight or fight. And I'm not fighting this thing because I can see the muscle tones on it. And it is huge. You know, the trapezies, the arms, the chest, you know, the body shape was huge, 4 foot wide at least. But the legs were a little off. And that's why to date now, I believe it is a juvenile. I start running backwards without looking back. This was 3 years ago. I'm 65 now, so I was 62. And let me tell you, this old man can run backwards quick and not fall down. Don't ask how I did it. But I look at it this way. As I'm getting back to Mike and Debbie, I'm yelling for lights because it's darker right inside the woods. And I wanted a good bright light on it so they could see what it's doing in case we all got to run. And finally, Mike understood what I was saying. He hit his big spotlight. And I get back to them. I go, you see it? You see it? Yeah, I see Bigfoot's ass. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, I was going down over the hill. I saw the backside. I went, okay, but he brought my nerves down when he said that. So that was our encounter, and he wanted to go follow it, and I told him, hell no. At that point, no. Next day, we went and measured up on the tree that it stood up next to, and it's right around 7 foot tall. Huge. Definitely huge. And I ain't saying like Donald Trump, huge. No, it was huge. So, yeah, that's my sighting.
Awesome. All right, I guess it's my turn. What you got?
What is the most bizarre incident that you have experienced?
As in, is Bigfoot or just anything?
Whatever.
Most bizarre incident.
It's a lot of different things. What is it?
Oh, probably. I mean, during paranormal investigating, I've seen a lot of strange things. I've seen a lot of different strange things. Let me think here. Probably one of the most weirdest things I ever did see. I was at a local haunt that's around right here in my area.
Okay, I'm glad you're saying that. I was waiting for you to say up at the Shenango Reservoir. I saw the elusive Bill Rigby.
Yeah, there you go. There's a local haunt here. There's a local legend called the Witch's Grave. It's at a church called the Highland Church, which the story is kind of blown up about the whole witch's grave, but the lady wasn't really a witch. But there's some weird activity happens at that location, inside the church, outside the church. The church was built in 1894, 1896. I can't remember exactly which. It's like at one time it's a one-room church, but a couple years ago they built like a little small addition on the back of it. So the rest of the church is the original. It has probably I'd say maybe half-acre little cemetery, if that. And like the whole story is, and it sits on a ridge by itself. There's no nearest home is probably close to a mile away. So it's always had this story about the witch, Cyril Jane Wetzel, the Highland Witch, she's been called a few names, but her original and her God-given name is Cyril Jane Wetzel. So people will go up there and they'll do all kind of stuff. They'll investigate. There's been people up there that's done some weird ritual stuff around her grave and all kind of stuff. And that might be why some of the activity is there, because of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the investigating, but the the ritual stuff, and because there's been some weird stuff go on up there. I mean, I've found at times black candles and stuff like that around her grave, and some other stuff. Pentagrams drawn on the inside of the church, on the wall right behind the pulpit. There's a great big pentagram that was drawn with a red pen. I mean, they took it, and I guess the folks, because they only have church every so often, but they got rid of it. But you could still see the mark where it was there. They had one that was scratched into the window. Somebody had busted out a window, and it was replaced with plexiglass. So there was a pentagram scratched into the window. But there was some weird stuff that would happen up there. And one time, me and my son Justin went up, and we're just checking stuff out, doing like we normally do. Had some recorders out, was on our way up. And I kind of jumped ahead of myself there, but we was on our way up, and we got out the bottom of the hill, the gate, and we started walking up the hill. And there was three folks that were coming down the hill. Two ladies and a gentleman. They were older folks. But I say older folks because they're older than me. And they seen us and said hey, and we said hey, and we walked by, and they turned and they said, "Hey, are you guys investigators?" And we're like, "Yeah," because we had our shirts on, our little group shirts. And so we go back up or they come back up to us, and they said, are you guys going to investigate here tonight? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, well, that's really cool. And I was like, well, we mind, if you don't mind, you can join us. We don't mind. So they thought, yeah, we'll just check some stuff out. And we went into the church and we're sitting down. I'm trying to remember. And the two ladies were sitting on one of the pews. The gentleman was up on like the little stage like thing, sitting there by the piano. And Justin and I were sitting on the wall, like in front of the pulpit. And that's when, this is back when what they call the Hack Shack first people started using it. When that radio, before the SB7 and all that stuff, you went and got this little radio from Radio Shack. You took it apart, you bent a certain tab over, and it would just scan through the channels.
Right.
And I did that, and I took it with me, and not too many people had seen it yet. That was kind of like the first one around. And anyway, we're sitting there and it's scanning, and we're asking questions, and started getting things that come through, and just here and there, and we got the we got the response outside, and I'm like, we're at outside, and we got the word gate, and it come across to say gate, and there's a gate that goes into the cemetery. Well, I told the gentleman that was there, I said, hey, go ahead, if you want to ask questions and stuff. So he started asking questions, and then he got to the point where he asked the question, well, who are you? And when he did, it was a male voice. Here's another thing. Anything we've ever caught up there always came across male. It was never like female, supposedly the witch, and this and that. It was always male. Well, this voice comes across there just clearly as can be, says the devil. This dude's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to ask more questions. So I forget what else was asked. I said something, and then all of a sudden it just blurts out a net, just clear as can be. And I'm like, that's strange. It's strange. Just a name comes across. I said, well, who's Annette? And before anything can come across the spirit box, the one lady on the pew raises her hand. She goes, my name's Annette. And that just blew us all away, because there was an intelligent response. We had somebody's name, and we were getting responses to our questions. So that's one of the I don't know if you want to say weird, but it was the creepiest, one of the creepiest things.
Yeah.
Another one was in the same location. I went up, my son and I try to remember who else was there. It was me, my son, Justin, I think it was my nephew, and his uncle, I think, or his uncle on his mom's side. And we're standing outside, and there was another little group that come in from Grafton. These guys come from Grafton, West Virginia, and they come over. We're talking to them, and the guy that supposedly was the leader of the group standing there talking to me, and another guy standing beside me, and we're all leaning on the fence. Well, the one guy's on the inside of the fence, and me and this other guy's on the outside of the fence. And I look over toward where Cerilla's stone's at, but it was off to the right a little bit. I could see this figure standing in the cemetery. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's somebody over there. Maybe it's one of the other folks, that was there. So I kind of walked down the fence a little bit to kind of lean in, get straighter shot, lean in, look over. And when I did, this figure that was standing there just completely disappeared, just gone. And all of a sudden, that guy that's standing on the same side of the fence with me, he goes, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And I didn't say anything. I said, well, "What did you see?" And he said, "This is what I saw." He said, "I see, same thing I did." I'm like, "Yeah, I seen it." I said, "Yeah, it happens up here quite a bit." And this guy's like, "I'm done." He said, "I thought this would be cool." It was the first time he was ever out doing it. He said, "But no." I said, "I don't want to do this ever again." He said, "I'm done. I don't want nothing to do with it." And I kept in contact with the leader of the group for a little while. And I don't ever happen to any of them, but that guy did tell me, after some time of talking to him, he said, no, he says, buddy never did go out again. But then I lost contact with the guy that was supposedly the leader. So I don't know whatever happened, whether they continued or he continued or whatnot, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that was a couple weird things from up in the witch's grave.
That's interesting. That's definitely interesting. I'd have fun with that.
Yeah. It's a cool location. I mean, bad thing is now there's been so many people that go up there. Then there was some folks that mess some stuff up. They knock stones over. They
I
and
hate idiots.
Yeah.
Those are idiots.
so now it's kind of you go during the daytime, it's fine, but you're not allowed up there at nighttime anymore. So
Well, I can understand that.
yeah,
They just like ruining it for everybody.
yeah,
Yeah, I had similar experience at a bigger place. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Get your heart going a little bit.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I enjoy it.
Oh,
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, my question for you, second question. It's still.
I don't know.
I'm gonna stick with the Bigfoot still, right?
All right.
What were your thoughts on Bigfoot before your sighting?
I knew they were out there. When I first started studying, I'm thinking Pacific Northwest Canada, not here, Pennsylvania. No. Now I started doing more and more research. I went, holy shit, we're in the top 5 sightings. Oh, so I started. Tony, I'm going to answer that in a moment. That's a good question. And when is your camp out too, Tony? I don't know. Hey.
That's the one I'm putting on next or in a couple weeks.
Oh, no. No. I'm just getting over from being sick.
Yeah.
The thing is, when I start researching deeper and deeper, now I got involved with several different groups, and I'm thinking, man, God, we need DNA just to prove it. And I'm out. Actually, 3 years ago, in the beginning of March, me and Brenda Sproul was out at the Shenango Reservoir. We walk up into the woods. Didn't really see anything. Nothing to brag about or anything like impossible structure. No. But when we went in, we were along the wood line before we went in. When we came out, I said, I'm going down along the shore. We found that trackway that went for over 100 yards. That was awesome flying.
Oh, yeah.
And that's before my sighting. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, holy cow, these people could find 1 track or 2 tracks, which we did too. Debbie Preggy and I went to several different spots, but the one farm we checked out, we found prints. We didn't find structures. We didn't find tree breaks. But turn around, finding that trackway, my heart was just going crazy. I actually videotaped it, and I'm walking beside it, and this thing is 1.5 inches deep. I'm only going maybe 1/4 inch deep, and I weighed 175 pounds. And I'm like, whoa. 14-inch footprint, 7.5 inches wide. That from heel to toe was 5 feet on the spread. And I'm trying to walk fast, run, and to get that spread. And I still couldn't get the spread. And I couldn't go that deep. So in my first attempt of trying to cast, I screwed it up. Number one, I didn't wait long enough because it's closer to the water. So underneath, it was wet. And so when I went to bring it up, it just fell apart. Was ready to cry. No, there's my first casting. I couldn't even do it. But Brenda, she went and bought some plaster there at Walmart and came back, and we casted that. And I says, we're leaving it for 24 hours. Put some sticks up. We'll put this bag over it so no one will step on it. And yes, that was crazy. But she got it, but it has a stone in the middle.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Val, you're going to go there, are you? All right. Can I go with this one, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yes, I did have a UFO sighting. I was 14 years old, spring day, nice out, beautiful sun shining. We're at the school bus stop, getting ready to go to school. I look up over the hill, and there it was hovering. I'm like, are you serious? And I'm telling the other ones, look, look, look. Of course, my brothers don't remember because of the short-term memory loss, long-term memory loss from his health reasons. My sister, oh, I don't know. Really? I ran in the house, told my mother, and I says, Mom, she's at the kitchen sink, which is facing the way the UFO was at. And I go, look up over quads. There's a UFO. She's looking, she's staring, she turns around, looks at me, dead serious, very, and I mean very firm voice. Do not say anything to anybody. Whoa, okay. I mean it. Keep your mouth shut. And I went, whoa, okay. But I did speak to the kids back at the bus stop because I had to get out there catching the bus, or my mom would have kicked my ass. I found out within the next week why they didn't. My mom didn't want us to say anything because the guy that lived up the hill got a picture of it, turned it into local newspaper, local news channels, and all this. And people started calling him crazy. He's a nutcase. He threw a metal trash can lid up in the air and took a picture of it. There is no way in hell I saw that, because it is a good half mile to 3/4 of a mile away. To see a metal trash can lid, nope, ain't happening. And so this was 1973 when this was. Now, the next part of her question. Where's it at? Okay, here it is. I just did a presentation in Johnstown about Bigfoot, UFOs, the coincidence, the paranormal, intergalactic, all that crap. I threw it out there. And like I told the people what I thought, and I still presume, even though I'm keeping an open mind, I presume they were flesh and blood. But let's take a couple steps back. People are tracking some in the snow, in the middle of a field, and the tracks are gone. Did they jump into a portal? Did they say, beam me up, Scotty? There's idiots down here. I don't know. I still presume, and I can be 110% wrong, they are flesh and blood, but they can still be interdimensional. They can still jump through portals because none of us really knows. Is there a connection? Damn good possibility, because there is correlations of sightings there. Les, have you got any reports that way?
There's only been a couple where somebody has seen a UFO and near their property, and well, I can't say UFO. It's more like lights. One's like it was a large red orb type thing, but not a bunch. I haven't seen a bunch or taken a bunch. But I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I mean,
right.
I mean, you look. You got Stan Gordon out there is taking dozens of reports. You got Fred Saluga is taking dozens of reports of.
Yeah, but Stan's going more with UFO and Bigfoot together.
Right.
Tony, no, years and years and years apart. I was 14 when I saw the UFO. I was 62 when I saw the Bigfoot. So there's no things together there.
Right.
Yes, Belinda, you're right. Davis, West Virginia is known for them.
Yeah, there's both in Davis, West Virginia. There's several UFO sightings in Davis and Thomas, and there's several Bigfoot sightings in Davis, the Davis Thomas area, Canaan Loop, Canaan Valley, Blackwater Falls. Yeah. So are they related? I'm not sure. They might be. I mean, it very well could be.
Three Forks, I think you could be right, but we could be wrong. Okay. We don't know. We're so far behind of understanding and knowing this stuff.
Yeah.
Because with all honesty, if you're in a flesh and blood group of believers, you bring up about the UFOs or interdimensional, you got arguments because these people want to keep their damn minds closed. Open up your mind, and admit that you could be wrong or you could be 1,000% right. You got to keep your mind open. Like I said, I believe they're flesh and blood, but I'm still open to the other factors, and I don't let it sway my thinking. And I did jump a guy's butt for going around putting his fingers in people's faces saying they jump through portals. That's what they do. And he's very adamant. He's trying to be very firm. I guess he was an officer in the Navy and that. And I'm with these people. I just met them, and a couple of them says, "You going to say something to him?" I went, "No, let him say his piece." Everyone got their own opinion. Till he went up to this 77-year-old man and started pointing in his face. Then I stood up and told him. But, everyone is allowed their belief, but show some proof with it too. Or just say you believe it is. I just don't know.
All right.
I want to believe they're flesh and blood because they're aliens. Holy shit, I don't want to mess with them.
Well, I can remember when I called you a while back, or I forget if I called you or whatever. I said, "Hey, I got a question for you to just baffle your brain." And I was like, "You remember what I asked you? What if Bigfoot's what we would have been if aliens didn't mess with us?"
Yes. I think you were probed once too often. Yeah, that's a baffling question. Yeah. That really is, because you think about it. Was we really messed with by aliens?
Right.
Mark, you're watching Les's. I'm a guest that he's trying to beat up.
I want to, Tony. I here's the thing I have with people who's like paranormal or flesh and blood or how or not paranormal, but interdimensional flesh and blood. I think no matter where they come from, unless they are some kind of spirit demon or something like that, even if they're coming from another dimension, they are still flesh and blood. They're alive in another dimension. It would be any different than us if we were a dimensional traveler and we went to a different dimension. We are still a flesh and blood animal. We're going to leave tracks. We're going to leave evidence. We're going to leave some kind of trace evidence. So, yeah, I have a hard time with the terminology, interdimensional. People thinking interdimensional means they're not flesh and blood. I don't know. I just
Can I use that this weekend at my presentation?
Absolutely.
Because that makes a lot of sense. And I don't want your head to swell. Same with Shane Spencer and Mike Hartman and Jay Fouch. I grouped you guys all together and I threw your names out during my presentations this weekend. I did 2 of them about being the researchers and the open mind and how you guys research. I says, if we have more researchers like you guys, a lot of answers will be done. And right. I'm dead serious about it. And I'm not trying to pat you on the back or you got me on your show. You I've always said that from day one. You're the ultimate researcher. Mark, he's so confused.
Yeah, Mark, I broadcast on Bill's StreamYard. He sponsors this show, so but him as a guest, we put all the platforms on here or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
My two Facebook or my YouTube, my Facebook, Bill's YouTube, and Bill's Facebook. So we put them all on there, and it does gets kind of confusing, But yeah, it's actually my show. I'm just talking with Bill. Bill, I want to answer this one here. Brianna, thoughts on? I didn't click on it. Thoughts on the UFO owl connection?
Owl?
Owl. Yes, there are a lot of people that do believe that there's a connection, because there are a lot of people that have encounters with UFOs. Believe that they see large owls, like during visitation or maybe during abduction cases. There have been owls seen, like large owls, 3 to 4 foot tall, in their driveway.
I never heard that part of it.
Oh yeah.
So I don't. That's why I went owls.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused, like Mark is.
I'm sure you've probably seen. I think Steve Ward wears it at times. Says it wasn't an owl.
Yes.
Shirley wears. That's what that means. That's what that's from.
Yes.
But yeah, there. I don't know if they're what. I mean, the belief is. I guess you want to say the connection. The belief is that they manipulate your memory and make you see what you want to see, or manipulate your thoughts and make you see what you want to see. And a lot of times, people see owls, large owls. And then in some cases, even in Bigfoot related stuff, people hear owls and that seem to be off, like they don't they don't sound right. So there again, is there a connection with Bigfoot, aliens, and owls all together? I don't know, but there is a supposed.
No, I heard it, like with that mass abduction.
Yeah.
They've seen Bigfoots up there. I did not hear anything about owls or just hearing owls, but several abductees.
Yeah,
seen a Bigfoot on the ship.
Well, most of the ones that I've ever read about are usually around their home. I don't not necessarily when they actually get like abducted, I guess, but they may have been abducted and not know it. In a lot of cases that happens. Mm-hmm. But there's always, not always, but there are times when owls or the sightings of owls and stuff like that are present, and usually people describe them as 3 to 4 feet tall. And there's not a whole bunch of owls out there that are that large. So
I seen one that was close to 3 foot, and that was a barn owl. I believe it was at a farm, so I believe it was a barn owl because they had it in the milk house. It scared the living hell out of me because I was just a little kid, and its head kept following me around like this here, and the body didn't move. I was like, that thing is demonic.
Yeah, owls are a strange creature now.
Yes, they're
sure.
neat, and we got a bunch of owl plaques and pictures and stuff inside our house. Maybe it was a great gray, or I'm not sure, but we do have, for one reason, my middle grandson that lives with us, his initials are Owl, Owen Wade Lynn.
Cool.
So, yeah. And my daughter planned it that way. I said, you're sick. You're sick, man. That's just creepy. But no. Yeah, so, okay, I can understand that, the correlation there. But I never heard it.
Yeah.
After all these years, I finally heard something new.
Maybe.
And Tony wants to know, he says he thinks they're referring to aliens.
Yeah, with the owl. Yeah.
Maybe they're the aliens amongst us.
Bill, we're reading
Yes.
too much.
Yes, we are. I like what Steph's saying too.
Yeah. The great horned owls all here. Great horned owls all over up along the Peak to Peak Highway where I live. Really, really busy right now picking off rodents before the snow. Yep.
And right here, Nancy has to say. Huh. Interesting.
Sweet.
Very interesting.
But yeah, that's what I've heard as far as like a connection that people, even people that have went through regression or
right.
You know what I'm talking about, been hypnotized and go through have even I guess it's so strong they can't even get away from the fact that they were seeing big owls.
But that's interesting because now you got me looking up something else.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man. As if I don't have enough to look up. It's my turn to ask you a question. Where's my buddy at?
I don't know if he's home. I don't know if they got back yet.
How dare you? You know you got to be around when I on this show.
They went up to her Jennifer's mom's there for a little bit. I'm not sure. He might be home now. I'm not sure.
All right. He went to see his grandmother. I can forgive that. Forks, you guys are keeping me busy. Shoot. And since I kind of been laid up all summer, and the research that I was doing on some of my old stuff, now I got new stuff, so I better not get sick and get laid up again. But anyhow, I did have the list written down. It's up in the house.
Just wing it. I don't care. We'll do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good one. You did a good ghost story. And I know the answer to this one, but I don't know if the people out there does. Have you seen a Bigfoot? What was your reaction? Or what do you think if you do see one, what your reaction will be?
I don't know if I did. I may have. That was last year. I was, like you said, some of the people here have heard it. I was driving toward Elkins. I was on Route 33 driving toward Elkins, and right before you drop to the last big straightaway before you get into Elkins, there's like a hump or a hill,
Right.
and you can look down and you can see the river, the Taggart River. And I seen something stand on a rock in the middle of the river. It was black. It was big. It was standing up straight. Well, put it this way, in my mind, that's what I seen. You know, and now and since then, since I didn't get a super long look at it, I kind of want to second guess myself, but I can still see that form. I went into Elkins, turned around and come back, and where the rock, I knew where the rock was. I knew where it was at. There was nothing there. There was nothing on the rock. There was, nothing near the rock. I went back later the following week, or that following weekend, the upcoming weekend. I believe it was at Tammy. Tammy, was it like the same week after when I called you? If she's still in there. But Tammy and I went.
I think it was.
Yeah. And there was nothing there. There was no tree standing up that looked like a form. In my mind, if it was a fisherman, this thing was way too big for a fisherman. If it was a bear, possibly, but it still seemed way too big for a bear standing in the middle of the river, or a rock in the middle of the river. Yeah, a week later, Tammy said, I thought it was. But I don't know.
Sparky, it is a Dr. Pepper.
I still second guess myself even today. It's been over a year now, and I don't really know what I saw. Or I don't really know what it was.
You're not positive.
No, I'm not positive. No, I can't say that I did, and I can't say I didn't. I just know I can close my eyes and see that snapshot picture of something was there, but I can't make out what it was.
Hey, Tony, I don't know. Some people do.
Yeah, I know quite a few people think ghosts
don't want to go to the light.
Yeah, that and I know quite a few people think all ghosts are demons. There's nothing. They're nothing else.
Right, Forks, you're right about that too.
Yeah.
But oh, BJ, the shirts are out in the car, so it was the decals. I think with the ghost, they're afraid that they might not end up where they want to go. So they stay in this other dimension. It's what I believe. We did an investigation in Butler, PA at the old VA hospital, which is 288,000 square foot. We was just supposed to do a quick walkthrough, an hour or two. That did not happen. We were there for over 5 hours. We've had activity on every floor, the basement and sub-basement, all 5 floors. So I had a connection with this Vietnam vet. He did not want to leave where he was at. He was happy there. And I did ask him, I said, would you like to go with your family? No. Happy here on the spirit box. Angel put the headphones on so she couldn't hear us ask questions. And we're asking questions. He was answering them. At the same time, my EMF meter was going berserk every time he answered. And usually just goes up and backs down. That sucker was just, the lights were going, nee, 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 nee. and she's hearing his answers. I can't. So I know something's going on because of the lights. Well, the next couple days, she's deciphering all the recordings. She calls me early two mornings after and said, "Holy shit, Bill, he answered every question you threw at him." Really? And she's throwing at me everything he was saying. And she says, "And I'll play it for you when I see you." And she did. He answered every question. And I'm like, whoa. I asked him if he wanted me to come back. He wants me to come back. I believe some of them gets comfortable where they're at and they don't want to leave it. That space. He didn't even want to go out of the room and go down the hall with us. So, with that being said, is there a heaven and hell? They're afraid to go to hell because some things they've done. I don't know. I'm not going to preach religion there. I don't know. The entities existing as bosons instead of vermins. Some's residual, some ain't. An old age home, huh? You're going to have activities there. I don't care. Good, bad, whatever. At the Butler VA, the one room we went into, it was like visitors can all go there and visit with the patient in there. It's like an atrium type room. I felt a bad energy in there. I had Angel come down and to it, and she felt the same thing. And she says, "There is something bad in here." And then she says, "Uh-oh, yes." And so he wanted to follow us out of that room, and we had to tell him, no, he can't come with us. We had to stop him from following us because he had a bad attitude. So, I ain't saying he was demonic, but he had a bad attitude. He probably was pissed off because he died, but I don't know. It's just a weird situation there with that one. So, next question.
Is it my turn to ask you one?
Yeah.
All right, we'll jump past the one I had here because you basically talked about the paranormal Bigfoot a little bit. You already talked about some. Let me see here. I'll just what is the strangest thing you've experienced or had reported to you? As far as anything, I mean anything you want to throw.
Just recently, a chupacabra.
Oh yeah.
Down near Pittsburgh. And she told me how close it got to her as she's getting in her house. That was weird. She saw the poison or whatever dripping off its teeth. It's just everything she described was a chupacabra.
Now, what chupacabra are we talking about? Are we talking about the original? Or are we talking about the Texas and Oklahoma blue dog chupacabra? Which one are we talking about? Because the original chupacabra stories come from the South America.
From Mexico and that. Yeah.
Where basically almost like a reptile type looking thing, had spikes down its back and this and that and all kind of weird stuff.
Yep.
So I don't know how it not transform, I won't say transform because the creature didn't transform. The actual description that people were giving just transformed. It went from that to what people are calling chupacabra now in like Texas and the Southwest.
Like a canine.
It's a hairless bluish colored dog.
Yeah.
There are videos of it, out there. One lady down in that area actually has one that she killed. It was raiding. I think it was raiding her chicken coop or something. She killed it. She actually has it stuffed and mounted in her foyer in her home, and it's got these brilliant blue eyes, and it's just a gray, bluish, hairless dog-looking thing, and that's what people are calling,
All
chupacabra
right.
now. So,
I'm taking it as the South American chupacabra.
okay.
It's a very chilling story she gave me. And, I've taken Bigfoot reports. I took ghost stories. I actually took a dogman report that less than a mile from my house.
Mm.
That kind of freaked me out. And folks, you heard me tell my story about Bigfoot. Debbie's out here. Hi, Deb. So I got a lot of different stories, but that chupacabra one really kind of freaked me out a little bit. The thing is, no, Nancy, I wouldn't want it in my house either as a pet or as a stuffed pet. Oh, no. But the Dogman report, I'm going to say, is the second weirdest one I've ever taken because it was so close to home. And I know the guy, I know his family, and they don't put up with no lies, no crap like that. And he was very honest. He showed me the area, and I believe his story. I believe that, and we've had reports farther north from there and the next town south, which is, if you go by the river, about 1.25 miles. So, I didn't get that report. That was Jamie King's report. I don't know. It's just, those are the ones that are weird enough. Oh, come on, Porks. I want to see that battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to have a cameraman out there because I don't want to be close. I'm chicken. I admit it. But all right, let me think of something really good for you. What the hell was you doing in Erie today?
I had to go up and pick up a forklift. We bought a forklift up there at Erie. Brought it back down here.
Okay. I got there's part of my question to you.
Okay, what Tony put out there?
Yes.
All right, what is it?
How can you explain someone vanishing like that?
Well, it depends. It depends on what they are. Or if we're talking about a spirit, what they're made of. Are they made of energy and that just dissipates? Or they are ghosts that people see nothing more than something on another plane of existence. Maybe another dimension or realm or something like that. Just think it as this: these dimensions not running or time or whatever you want to call it, or dimension or time, whichever, not running linear, not in a
Yeah, right.
parallel. There's the whole the string theory where it's just time is just a big ball. So what if sometimes these timelines, you our timeline 2024 and say 1824 are getting close and they kind of meld together at one time. Maybe in that same area spot, whatever, where it's inside of a home or something like that.
Mm.
And kind of like a time slip in a way, yeah. But it's more of a just and because there's a lot of stories where you hear people saying, "I seen something," and I was extremely taken back. It stunned
Right.
me. But they also say that when you invest, when you question them, what did this thing look like? Yeah, this spirit or whatever, or this entity, person. There's a lot of times people will say it looked like it was actually stunned to see me, like it's surprised. Maybe
Yep.
that's not. Maybe it's not a spirit. Maybe it's just another being on a different plane. And when those two planes come together or cross and melt, whatever you want to call it, that's what happens. Now, as far as like some of them, he was talking about the bosons and stuff like that, or that has to do with the nuclear and or nucleus, and I forget how it goes, but it has to do with the cellular structure of stuff. Maybe there's an awareness. They have an awareness, I guess, possibly. Maybe that spirit or energy has an awareness, and maybe they're able to manifest themselves, bring together their energy and manifest it and present themselves as that. Maybe, and again, maybe it is something. Maybe some people are right. All ghosts are demons or something, or something of that nature. And what's demons do? They're
Yep.
tricksters. They're out there to take advantage of situations and people and stuff like that. And maybe they do that in order to try to manipulate you in some way. Maybe that's a
Right.
possibility. Uh, Tony, I have seen things that look like flesh and blood and then disappear. I've seen it. I I've I'll just give you an example. This is one of the strangest things that ever happened to me. I was setting in a wide spot. There's a pull off spot before you go through the um, shoot the tunnel. I can't remember the name of the tunnel. I know it. I just can't think. Tunnel goes into New York City, and I couldn't go into the city until I contacted my the people that were accepting the load because they were going to shut down the Avenues of America. It's right beside the Empire State Building. They were shutting down that road for me to come in, because I was unloading right there on the road. So I had to make sure I call, and I would pull over at this wide spot, like a waiting area or staging area, whatever you want to call it. And I got out, and I'm cleaning my mirrors off, so I could see when I go into town. Because you go into town like that, you don't want your mirrors dirty at all. You want to be able to see, especially at night. So I'm cleaning my mirrors. I cleaned the driver's side of the mirrors, and I come around. I got up on the step to clean the passenger side, and I'm driving a W900 Kenworth, so I'm standing on the steps. So my head and the mirrors are between 7 and 8 feet up, somewhere in there, but probably 7.5 feet. And all of a sudden, I thought somebody was standing beside me. I thought somebody had like walked up, from and just come up beside me. And I caught him out of the corner of my eye. In an area like that, that's uncomfortable. You
Right.
don't want somebody to walk in. I caught him out of the corner of my eye, and when I turned, I was looking right in the face of an elderly black man. I'd say probably in his 50s. This is several years ago, so I'd say elderly now, but 50s or 60s years old. I'm looking at the face of an elderly black man. He looked at me, and then next thing I know, he disappeared, gone, right in front of me. Never even, he never walked away, didn't do anything, just disappeared.
Who spiked
So
your Kool-Aid?
I have no idea.
No, seriously. I've heard different ones about that, like that, where they just walking up to them and they're gone. I
I mean,
don't know.
that he looked when I looked at him in his face, I didn't see the whole body. I could see face, shoulders, what you can see in your general vision. And that man was there,
Yes.
I could reach out and touch him. It wasn't like I'd seen through him. It wasn't like he was a different shade of something, here some people, they'll have, when you see these things, they may have a haze around them, or you see their aura, or, or they may be transparent slightly. No, this man was there, and then was gone.
Okay. Bev saying he died at that spot.
I don't
possible.
It's possible, but I don't agree with that totally. Because I have dealt with, in some locations that I've been into, what they call transients, where it seems like the location itself has some kind of
meaning to them.
Not necessarily meaning, just an attraction to, or it I don't want to say it. It's almost like they just pass through. They're moving from one point to another. They're transient, and I've dealt with that in certain spots. I lived. I lived in a house years ago that was across from a graveyard. That was probably about 200 or 300 yards from a graveyard, and it seemed like every time somebody was buried at that graveyard, we would see a different person come through our home. And they wouldn't stay. It wouldn't necessarily stay. It just seemed like there was somebody that appeared, or something would happen, and they were gone. So yeah, Dave, kind of like a crossroads. I other people have used the term, but like a transient. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can buy into that. All right. I'll go talk about an experience I had as a kid, and from that, I want to know what kind of, if you had any similar type experience.
Okay.
A good friend of the family, I dreamt about their son.
Mm-hmm.
He got ran over by a truck.
Yeah.
I get up that morning, go down for breakfast before school, and I asked my mom, I says, did Timmy get run over by a truck last night? Now, this dream was so real.
Vivid.
Very. And she went, no, not at all. I went, oh, okay. Which I felt great about. Well, next morning we get up. My mom says, I got to talk to you kids. Timmy got ran over by a truck last night and died. I had, I guess, a premonition of it. And truthfully, for 3 days, I could not sleep.
Yeah.
I was worried to go to sleep because I might dream something bad will happen to someone else. And I talked to some people about it recently, and they said, yeah, you can actually block out that stuff. And that's what I end up doing, because I kept saying, I don't want to go to sleep because I don't want nothing to happen to anyone. I don't want to see this. I don't want to know. And after 3 days, I was able to get some sleep. Have you experienced anything like that?
Like dream, like
a dream premonition or
premonition. I have two times that I've had something I guess bring up. When I was in my teens or early teens, getting in my early teens, like 12, 13, somewhere in there. I had an uncle, and growing up, and here's what's funny. He died years ago, and I remember when he died, I thought, man, he was an old man. Well, he died at 44 years old.
Thanks a lot.
No, when you're a kid, 44 years old. But he got sick. He had some heart issues and stuff like that, and I don't know what all really was all wrong with him. I never heard all the stories, but I just know he was sick, and he and I got close because he started going to church because it went. Let me just restart. Growing up, my uncle was my dad used to say the man could sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo. He said the man was a talker. He was a shyster. He was whatever. Just for example, he had a used car lot and a garage. He had some lady come in and say, "Hey, Jimmy, I lost a hubcap. It's on the left front. I lost it." She goes, "Do you have one to match it?" He said, "Well," he says, "just leave the car here." He said, "I'll have the boys look throughout the junk pile out in the back and stuff, and I'll see if I can find one to match it." He said, "You come back in about an hour." She said, "Okay." She leaves. He tells his two boys to come over. He said, "You see that left front hubcap's missing?" They're like, "Yeah." He said, "I want you to go over." He said, "I want you to take the right rear hubcap off that car and put it on the left front wheel." And they did. She come back and she goes, "Wow, you found one." He said, "Yeah, I found a perfect match." He said, and he charged her for it, and she went on her way.
Oh my God!
So that was the kind of person he was. But when he got sick, he kind of found Jesus, found God, whatever you want to say, and he started going to church. Well, none of his kids wanted to go to church with him. So he'd come up and he'd say, "Hey, you want to go to church?" And I'd go to church. And then we got, like I said, we got a little bit closer, and we'd go fishing a lot and stuff like that. And then he got worse, he got sick, and he was in the hospital. My dad was working in Virginia at the time. And I walked through from my living room there. Like if you walk through in our living room of the house I lived in, you walk from the living room into the kitchen, and it was straight back to the bathroom, and off to the left was my mom and dad's room. And I walked into the kitchen, looked to the left, and here's my Uncle Jimmy standing at the foot of my mom and dad's bed. He's in the hospital, and I know he's in the hospital. And I looked at him, and he looks at me. And I didn't say nothing. I didn't know what to say. And he just shakes his head like this, and he's gone. So I didn't tell my mom about it. I didn't say anything to her. Dad got home, and I said, I wanted to, because my dad would listen to things like that from me. He experienced stuff as a kid and stuff. And I looked at him, I said, "Hey," I said, "I seen Jimmy today." He said, "What do you mean?" "He's in the hospital." "Did you go to the hospital?" I was like, "No." I said, "He was in your room. I seen him staying in your room at the foot of your bed." And he looked at me, and you see his face just drop. And he looked at me and said, "He's not going to make it." And Mom got us the next morning, had to go to school. Mom got me up, and she goes, "You don't need to go to school today." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "Your Uncle Jimmy died last night." And so that's the one time I've experienced something like it. I don't know, not really a premonition, but the visitation, or whatever they call it. Not grief. What is it called? Crisis visitation, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
So I experienced that. The other time was a dream. It was kind of a premonition. That was a few years ago. Well, it's been quite a few years ago. So Jennifer and I weren't married yet. So we've been together for 12 years. I had a dream about somebody in the family being pregnant. And I told her, I was like, somebody's pregnant. I said, "I don't know who it is, but we're going to find out in December." And come to December, we found out it was her brother and sister-in-law. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Great." She's like, "How did you know that?" I was like, "I just had a dream." And I started describing, I was like, "Yeah, it'll be a little girl." And I said, in the dream, it was a little girl. And she said, "Okay." We never said anything. And then I had another dream. I said, "Something's wrong." I said, this was like, I said, "We're going to find something out in March. There's a significant date in March, and something's wrong." Well, they found out the baby wasn't growing.
Oh.
And so the next dream I had, it's a total of 3, was the dream was the baby laying there beside another baby, a boy.
Right.
And this hand comes into the picture with like a white lacy sleeve and this like beautiful hand. And now I think it was an angel in my dream. And I told my wife, I was like, this is what I had a dream. And we never did tell her brother about it. And I knew that the baby wasn't going to make it. And they eventually, because the baby wasn't developed, they had to terminate it. I mean, there was nothing they could do. But
Man.
yeah, so that one was rough. But I told her, I was like, are they sure there's not two? Are they sure there's not two? I seen a boy and a girl. Are they sure there's not two? And she goes, no. I was like, well, there's another baby. And then she said something, I guess, to her mom or somebody, and they found out that the mom had lost a boy prior to her getting together with my brother-in-law.
Oh.
So, and I was like, and nobody knew that, but I seen it in my dream.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. That is crazy. So somehow you're like a medium.
No, I don't say that. Just sometimes things happen. My dad used to do the same thing. He would experience something or have sight, or like not a sighting, but like a vision. It doesn't happen to me much. It's like every so often, but that was one that was really, and it was rough.
Well, if you see anything bad happening to me, you better tell me.
Absolutely.
Better tell me, so I'd be prepared.
All right. Well, we're a minute, an hour 20. I'm going to ask you. I'll just ask you two. We'll just skip the other questions to the end. Yeah, we're still on here, Griff.
Yeah, Griff.
I'm going to ask you two questions. You can answer real quick if you want. Name one person you would like to meet. I'm going to ask you so we can get into a little better, feel here. Name one person you would like to meet in the Bigfoot field and why.
That's a damn good question. I can tell you who I don't want to meet, but that's beside the point. Let me think here. Ron Moorhead.
Cool guy. I met him a couple years ago.
Rub it in. RPG in person.
You interviewed him, didn't you?
Yes. I want to meet him in person and hang out with him for a day. He is awesome. He is awesome. And hell of a nice guy. And I just interviewed this person last night, and I'd like to meet her in person and her team. They're out just about every weekend investigating, researching. Marie Dumont in the Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group. I'd like to get down there and get out with them.
I need to get in contact with her, really, that you said that. Because I have a guy that's contacted me 2 or 3 times out of Florida, out of the Panhandle of Florida. He's looking for a reputable, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Responsible team that will come out and spend some time on his property, because he's had one sighting himself and his son's had a sighting on his property. And he's wanting me to come down to Florida to hang out for a week or so. I'm like, man, I really can't,
I know. And I I'm telling you, I'd love to get down there with them and get out researching. And because she showed me, well, she sent me the pictures of this 2 different structures, because the one got washed away when the water level came up. But when it went down, they built a new one, identical, same spot. Right? And it's just awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Tony, be careful what you ask for.
All right, I'll ask you the next question real quick. If money was no option, where would you like to visit and conduct? We'll just say Bigfoot research or Bigfoot investigation.
I'd like to go to Pacific Northwest. I want to get down to West Virginia with you. 2 spots. And I know the latter one would come before the Pacific Northwest.
Yep, come on down.
You know we're going to. We're getting better. We're coming down. But yeah, I enjoyed the time you came up here and went out with us, and you grabbed things in a line of sight that a lot of people wouldn't see, and it was awesome seeing that with you. And the box of pencils and crayons, or whatever the hell they were.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely really enjoyed being out with you, and we definitely going to do it again. I will get down and be with you so we can go out and investigate.
Tony wants to know where you're from, Bill.
Originally, I'm from my mother, but now I'm from Western Pennsylvania, where I was born, Sharon, Pennsylvania. Oh, I just love throwing that one out there to people. Where are you from? Well, originally, but anyhow, no, I'm from Sharon, PA, right on the Ohio line. I actually can pick up a stone and go like this, and I do mean that direction, and we hit Ohio. So yes, I saw the Ohio grassman. I possibly seen one here in Pennsylvania. Watch it, BJ. I'll get you this weekend. Yeah, we'll put that one up.
BJ, are you saying he's hatched because he's just a big turkey?
Jeez, oh man. I came on here to get abused.
Yeah, dinosaurs did lay eggs. That's right.
Whoa. Whoa. Ouch. Very ouch. I will get even this weekend, BJ. But with all honesty, yeah, this has been great. I enjoyed being on here with you, Les.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, you are a great friend, and I really enjoy talking with you, even when we're not on. There he is, my hero, my buddy. Hi, buddy. Where have you been?
I don't know.
I think looks like he's been in the bathtub.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah.
you had to go get cleaned up before you get on the air, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't. I planted 50 tulips before I came down here to get on the air. I'm still digging dirt out from my nails. But anyhow, you looking good, buddy. How's school?
Good.
What do you mean good? It should be perfect.
It's fine.
Okay. Okay. I was asking about you too.
It's my little mini me here. That's what
Yes,
everybody
he
says.
is. Yes, he is.
Do what? What? I don't know what he's saying.
You ask it. Go ahead, say it.
Thanks, Val.
Hmm.
Hey, here's Tony said he's met you before
Yeah.
down at the
Huh.
Bigfoot conference or Bigfoot festival.
I remember Tony.
He remembers Tony. Hey, Tony, you'll meet him again in a couple weeks. He's coming to camp out with me. He's going to spend a couple days in the woods with Dad.
I'm missing my test day.
Oh, good. You better make it up or take it beforehand. And Tony, thank you for inviting me to Les's camp out since he didn't do it.
Well, I knew.
Don't start stuttering.
No, I talked to you about it, and I knew you said I knew you weren't feeling good, so I was like, well, maybe the next time.
Yeah. Yep.
There's gonna be a few, not a whole bunch of us. It's gonna be me,
Dad,
Tammy.
Dad,
It's in here. Tony's coming.
Fort Creek Outdoors.
Yeah, it's Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh.
Me, Tony, Dave, Danny, Wes, Daniel Boone, I think's coming.
Daniel Boone or Benoit?
Daniel Boone. No, Daniel Boone Smith.
Oh, okay.
Vesta and her grandson Brody's coming. Remember the young boy I was telling you about?
Mm-hmm.
Popsicle.
What?
No, I mean lollipop.
The lollipop lady. Yeah.
Lollipop lady.
Yeah.
They're coming. So just a handful of us, and we're just gonna hang out, BS, cook some food, maybe look around a little bit, kind of explore the area that are a little, kind of close, and then maybe we'll see if we can get together and head over to another area, because where I like to go is Osceola, but there's not a whole lot of parking room over there. So, but we're gonna.
Folks, if you did not get an invite, blame Les. Tony's out inviting everyone.
Hey, Tony's more welcome. Anybody can come if they want, but I just know that's who's always coming right now. Yeah, if you want to come, it's the 18th, 19th, and 20th of October at Laurel Fork Campground outside of Elkins, between Elkins and Harmon. It's kind of in the boonies, and yeah, come on down. The campsites for singles $8 a night, not a person. $8 a night. You can have, a 10 or 2 on there. Doubles are 16. There's Vesta Mason. She's a lollipop lady.
Hey, Vesta.
But yeah, that's good. I hope you guys have a great time. I hope you find some evidence out there.
Well, like I said, I don't know what all we're going to get into. I think it's a lot of it just might be networking, connecting together, telling you, talking about stuff, and then we'll see what we can find and look around and stuff like that.
It is gonna be a good time, Tony.
Yeah, because you're gonna be there, Mason.
Are you gonna be there, Bill?
No, I will not, buddy. I'm not going to take the chance of, now that I'm feeling like I'm 95% better. Good. I don't want to get knocked back down yet. And the weather's changing, and it's going to be very easy for me to get sick.
I'm going, even though that I have my allergies up.
Yeah, just be careful, buddy. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, just running around will make me cough a lot.
Yeah. But this weekend, I'm going to be up at Hotel Connie Lake, PA.
Yeah.
And we're going to be, I'm doing a presentation on Sunday. We're there Saturday and Sunday it's the psychic fair there. And it's a haunted hotel. It's over 100, it's around 100 years old. And so we're going to be going there. And my wife's ringing the buzzer. So I'm going to have to get going.
And Tony, I will see you there.
Nancy, if you want to come on down.
Yeah, if you want to come.
All right, is that your wife, Bill?
Yes, it is.
So, all right, I better let you go.
Bye.
Yeah. Hey, you all have a great night. Thanks for having me again, Les. This has been fun, as always.
Oh, yeah.
And Mason,
Bye,
I expect to hear about the camp out from you.
Okay.
All right, folks.
We'll have a
Good
podcast.
night.
Me, you, and Dad.
All right. That sounds like a winner.
Because
Thanks, everyone, for the questions.
Have a good one.
I did a
And-
podcast with Old Bear in the Mountain.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I did on his phone in my room.
Feels like good.
All
See
right.
you.
Bye.
See you,
all.
buddy. See ya. Well, folks, that was a fun time. Had a great time with Bill. Bill's always a good one to have on. Good friend, very good friend. Great time. I want to thank everybody for coming. Okay. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Thank you all. Everybody's coming to camp out again. 18th, 19th, 20th. Laurel Fork Campground. And the address says Harmon, but it's kind of a little bit away from Harmon. Just if you're coming, message me. We're kind of going to meet up in. Nice to meet you too, BJ. We're going to meet in. Some of us are going to meet in Weston at Walmart in Weston, and then head on over to the campground, which is probably, I'd say probably close to an hour. Yeah, it's closer to Weimar. Yeah, that is outside of Weimar and Glady. But it's kind of a remote campground. It's down in the valley. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of roads we can check out up on the hill. It's real close, not real close, but kind of close to Spruce Knob, the highest point in West Virginia. Sinks of Gandy, which is pretty cool. Osceola, which is a cool spot. It's where I like to hang out. So yeah, if you guys want to come, hit me up. I'll give you directions, and everything, and I'll tell you everything. I'll try to add you to the little chat that I put together for everybody that is coming. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time. Like I said, $8 a site. It's a single site, and I know I've been down there before. I've seen people on a couple of sites have a couple tents, so I don't think that's frowned upon. But it's $8 a site per night, so that's not bad. There is a small pavilion. There are two bathrooms there. There's no bathhouse or anything like that, but there's two bathrooms, which are kind of like big outhouses in a way, I guess you'd say. But yeah, it's a nice little spot. So if you want to come, you're more welcome to come. And yeah, I had a fun time. Thanks everybody for coming. And we will see you. Well, I'll catch the last comments here before I go. Thanks, Tony. Thank you. I enjoyed it. It's fun. It was fun. Thanks everybody for the kind words and all of those that come, all of you that keep coming back. It's like I said, it's humbling. I really enjoy it. So with that being said, I'll see you all next week. Same time, same place. See y'all. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Agents of the Unexplained. Please visit our website at agentsoftheunexplained.net for unique paranormal merchandise like t-shirts, books, and coffee mugs. Join our Facebook group and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more thrilling content. Until next time, keep questioning the unexplainable.